What's up guys, it's Alex, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at earlier this year's GAN 11M Pro versus very recently's GAN 12 MAGLEV. And we're going to be see whether it's worth upgrading from one to the other, or whether it's better to save the 10 quid and go for the 11M Pro versus the GAN 12 MAGLEV. I've had this cube for quite a while now, the 11M Pro. If you look on my channel, I made a video on that pretty much as soon as I got it, and the MAGLEV I've had for a good week or two now, so I can say my views on it pretty well. So to start with, we're going to take a quick look into the core of these two cubes, because they both look very similar on the inside, but interestingly perform very differently. So if we pop open the center of our MAGLEV and the center of our 11M Pro, they're obviously different colored internals. That's obviously just the versions that I've gotten, but aside from that, you can see the internals on both are very similar. They've both got those core magnets, and they've both got magnets that go from the corner to the core, which you can't quite see as well on the 11M Pro, but you can see it a lot more on the MAGLEV. You can also see on the corners you've got those magnet adjusting tools, which you just push left or right. I've got them both set on the same setting because I find that setting works quite nicely. The finishes, obviously I've got a different finish on each. I've got glossy on one and frosted on the other, but the colours are pretty much the same if I show the same colours at the same time. So in terms of internals, they're pretty much the same. They've also both got that honeycomb pattern on the corner and edge pieces, and the same sort of release caps. So on the inside they look very similar, and you may think they perform very similarly, but there's a couple of main differences which I will show you in just 2 seconds once I've put together the majority of these cubes. Now, one of the main differences is actually on the corner, which if I grab a corner from each, we've got our 11M Pro, our GAN 12 corner. Now these are both set to these stronger ones, which are the hexagon ones, but you can see the difference in magnet size on each one. Let's just get the camera to focus up real quick. There we go. So you can see one of them's a very small magnet and one of them's a very big magnet, which you'll see how that makes a very big difference when I show you the performance of both these cubes in just a quick second here. So they both go together pretty similarly, because obviously they're pretty similar on the internals. Also, the GAN 12 has those little sort of hold on, focus, there we go. These little sort of cutouts in the corners of the cube, which I can only assume is for weight loss, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. So if we take a look at the slightly older 11M Pro, so with those smaller corner magnets, you've got a fairly fast cube depending on what lube you set it up with. Apologies about my bad turning on this cube, I haven't used it in a little while, but it's pretty fast turning. It's got good corner cutting. You've got very good forwards and reverse and all that sort of stuff. So corner cutting is all round very good. And if we take a look at it on the MAGLEV, you've also got a very fast cube. This cube's quite a lot louder than the 11M Pro though, and I'd say it's also quite a lot faster, but at the same time just as controllable. And if we look at corner cutting, you'll see pretty similar results, just like this. As you can see, we've got pretty similar results in terms of the corner cutting performance of these, but the main difference in them is through their speed. The MAGLEV is very quick but very controllable thanks to those massive corner to center magnets cube, but the 11M Pro is very controllable but not quite as fast, because they've sacrificed some of that speed for the controllability, because obviously they've got the smaller core magnets. But they're rather similar, and like I say, one of the main differences you can tell when turning is one of them's a lot louder than the other. So if volume is a big thing that you're thinking about, then the 11M Pro is better, but if you really want to think about volume, then you just go for something like the Tengen. But then in terms of the actual shape of the pieces, again, pretty much the exact same shape of pieces. They look slightly The 11M Pro looks like it's got slightly more jagged edges, but that's just purely because the black internals make a bit more of a contrast. So in total, they're very similar cubes. Now, I think I've got a different view on which one you should get depending on how you turn. If you like very quick turning, but you're not that good at kind of controlling quick turning, then I'd definitely go for the MAGLEV because it turns very quickly but very controllably. And even if you just turn quickly, it's a great cube. Now, the 11M Pro, on the other hand, is better for people who turn a lot more kind of viciously, if you know what I mean. They kind of rely on the cube's corner cutting and performance more, but then don't turn quite as fast. I think this is a great cube for you. And certainly if you want speed, you might just go for something like the Tengen V2, very fast cube. But I would actually still recommend the 12 MAGLEV because certainly in my experience it's actually faster and it's a lot more controllable because it's got those bigger magnets. So, like I say, different view on depending on how you turn, but this is just a quick video, so I hope you enjoyed, and let's get 70 subs by December, I guess. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.